Okay, let's go from that to this story in Colorado for a moment. We talked about this on the show yesterday a little bit, where the state's Bureau of Investigation releases the findings of an investigation they did into a former forensic scientist accused of tampering with DNA tests. There's so many implications potentially from this. They found that this woman is named Yvonne Missy Woods manipulated data in the testing process and posted incomplete test results in some cases. And there were thousands of cases she worked on now that are said to be in jeopardy. So the Boulder County DA, Michael Daugherty, is joining us to talk a little bit more about this. Okay. Thank you, sir, for coming on. We had a brief report on this yesterday. Boy, this really seems like it could be far-reaching, have a lot of implications. What is the context we should look at this in?
Well, good afternoon, and thank you so much for having me on. As a prosecutor, our mission is to do justice. We seek to do the right thing in every criminal case that we prosecute. So anytime there's a question about the integrity of the evidence or the credibility of a witness, it's, of course, a very serious matter. And as you know, over the years, DNA has come to be relied upon in so many criminal trials throughout the United States. So when this issue first came to our attention and to the public's attention 4 months ago, we were immediately concerned about the impact to victims, the accused, and cases throughout the justice system in Colorado.
So this woman was like or at least the way it's been painted, what I've read, was pretty much the star kind of DNA analyst and just worked on a lot of high-profile cases, which you often see DNA used. You see them in a lot of cases, but she worked on so many. And police relied on her, prosecutors relied on her. So if you found anomalies, right, what can you tell us specifically about what was found and then what might that lead to?
Well, see, what I would say is she certainly had a long and storied career with the state lab, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and worked on, to your point, a lot of different cases. 4 months ago, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation announced that they had discovered anomalies in her work. What that meant, we just learned more about today. So today there was a release by the internal investigation into this matter where they announced that she had deleted data, manipulated data, and tampered with evidence in an effort to cut corners. What I would highlight for your viewers, though, is that they remain steadfast that she neither manipulated nor produced any false results that resulted in someone being wrongfully convicted or falsely implicated. And I think that's a key question for all of us. When you hear that a DNA lab analyst is engaged in some kind of misconduct, the immediate worry you have as a prosecutor, a juror, as an ordinary person on the street is someone in prison right now who should not be? Or is someone free in the community who's actually a danger and should actually be in custody?
Of course.
Those two concerns remain such a driving force for us. Today's release by the Colorado Bureau of Investigation emphasized that no one's been falsely implicated or wrongfully convicted as a result of her work, but that she did cut corners by deleting, manipulating, and tampering with data. And obviously that remains very disturbing. And I hope their conclusion that there's no one wrongfully implicated or exonerated is true and accurate.
Okay, so obviously you're going to look into that. Let me put a statement up from her attorney, and then I want to ask you a follow-up on that, just so we have what they're saying on it. So the attorney here is Ryan Brackley. So Ryan Brackley says Ms. Woods expects nothing less than a full, complete professional investigation into these allegations, stands by the reliability and integrity of her work on matters that were filed in court, and particularly in cases which she testified in court under oath. But you're saying that we've already been this separate investigation that found she cut corners. What do you look at next here as you build this out? So you're saying you're not necessarily satisfied with the explanation. You don't know whether or not someone's in jail that shouldn't be. You just know what's in the report.
That's correct. And I would say there's still questions that remain to be answered, and they're important questions about how these things took place, how they weren't discovered earlier, and what it means in terms of the actual impact on cases. That's yet to be disclosed or determined. Plus, I would point out for you that even in cases where she did not cut corners, delete data, or tamper with data, those defendants are likely going to seek to have their DNA results re-examined.
Right.
And they may seek to relitigate their cases. So even in cases where the state lab determined she did not engage in misconduct, that's certainly going to result in additional work for district attorneys' offices, but also angst for the victims and their families of any of those cases that were touched by her.
So this could spread far beyond just your jurisdiction, is what you're saying, or?
Oh, this is throughout the state of Colorado. It's certainly not just limited to Boulder County.
Right, so it's a really, really big deal. All right, thank you, sir. Michael Daugherty with us on that situation. We'll continue to follow that. I mean, we had it on yesterday, but now we understand it much better. Right back here after a quick break. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.